All right, today I have some real music authorities in Huntsville to speak with, a dynamic duo, husband and wife team that is Vertical House Records, located over at Lowe Mill, 2211 Seminole Drive. You guys are in railroad car number 3?
Correct. Yep.
Railroad room number 3, I think what it is. And housing over 25,000 new and pre-loved vinyl, CDs, stereo equipment, and you guys put on really good shows. So Ashley and Andy Vaughn, I really appreciate you coming by. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks for having us. We're very excited.
And aloha, right? You guys just got back from your trip, right?
We did.
It went well?
Yes, it was great.
All right, good. So welcome back. So what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about the music scene here in Huntsville. I want to talk about Vertical Records, but get more of a sense of what's going on in Huntsville as far as the music scene, and if you guys are seeing like specific genres that are just coming out, or if it's more of an eclectic sort of musicians getting together and putting out really good music. So I want to get your feel on some of that.
Cool. Well, there's definitely a very good, healthy chunk of punk and garage bands out right now, and a lot of our friends are involved in that, so that's maybe how we know more about those than other genres.
Right.
But, you know, there's also a good indie and folk blend as well, maybe a little touch of Americana with some of the bands. Then there's a great rap and hip-hop group as well involved, and then, you know, then there's the bands that you can't even put them in a genre, that they're just doing their own thing, and it's awesome.
Right. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about the Lowe Mill, because I mean, I love the place. Anybody who goes there has to love the place if you're into culture and music and art and all that good stuff. So I wanted to get your sense for how you thought the Lowe Mill played such a pivotal role in Huntsville music and what it's really doing to promote some of that.
Well, Lowe Mill is a good incubator for all sorts of things. Music, art, culture, like you said. Right. And so we have just been lucky that it was the spot that we started off and called it our home. And we've just grown with it ever since. And it's just neat because throughout the years, it was exactly what we needed to start. And then when we needed to grow a little bit, there was still space to grow. And then we've been able to grow our business and the record store and everything with Lowe Mill, and it's just been really exciting. Well,
yeah, so you get, and I know this firsthand, you get some of that overlap traffic, right? So if somebody comes over for something else, they wander into the store, right?
They're just going to pop in and
say, it's great. It's perfect. It's like a cultural mall for people to come by and they stumble upon certain things. So that's why I think it's great. And so in music specifically, they do a lot of good shows up on the second floor. But
docks, the concert.
That's what I was about to say. So the music on the docks is huge, and they get really good bands come from not only here in town, but from out of town to come and play it. So I think that's what's been a big draw for the crowds over at the...
Yeah, that is one wonderful thing about being there. You know, there's really... I can't think of any other spot in the city that you can have so many of the people that you want to attract to your business just there every day. Even if they're not there for you, they're there for somebody else, but they're still, you know, you still want to meet those people. And
oh, right, yeah. So speaking of local music, so what are some bands that we should be looking out for, that we should go out and support, local bands here that are really good, that are making a name for themselves, and that we should try to go and see on a regular basis?
Yeah, some of the new ones I think that are really good are like Rady and the Erasers. Okay. They're really good. Thundercrotch.
Right.
Her band, Porcheritas. Really Loud Hamburgers. Pine Hill Haints.
Dead Nerves.
Dead Nerves, of course.
Dead Nerves, right.
Yeah, there's a band called Exalted Ruler 1998. That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're still a band anymore, but they're really good if you can catch them.
And then, you know, there's always old haunts like Cancer Slug and everything. That, you know, there's just, it's so neat that Huntsville has such a diverse group of musicians that even if they're all the same musicians and they do different bands, it sometimes is all this different sound, and it's just neat that pretty much any genre is covered. You just have to find where that music's happening.
Right. So speaking of where, so give me some other spots that are putting on really good shows besides the record store.
I would say Copper Top is probably the lead runner.
And that's what we were talking about yesterday when I had the Dead Nerves in. I did a plug, and I said, you know, you shouldn't be scared by the outside of it. It looks like a dive bar. It is a dive bar,
but it's a good dive bar.
But it's a great. They've been putting on great shows there, and it's that little hidden sort of secret that you know, people should really go out and check them out. I plugged them yesterday. I'd plug them again. They're great. So they're putting on good shows. So let's talk about Record Store Day. It's a big thing for you guys. It's coming up in April, the third week in April, I think.
It's,
correct.
And I don't know too much about it. So give me what the background is behind Record Store Day.
They basically just do it for independent record stores, and they put out all these limited edition releases that come out and bring out a lot of people based on that, because they only press like 1,000, 2,000 of each. So it's kind of like first come, first serve, where if you show up early enough and you get what you want, otherwise it might be gone. But it's really cool because it's not for chain record stores or anything like that. It's really just independent record stores. So it kind of keeps like people going to indie stores instead of FYE or Best Buy or something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I saw that you guys were rated one of the best. What was the
one of the best places to buy listening music.
Best place to buy music for listeners.
For listening.
I think that's it, right? 2013 winner. And beating out Best Buy, of course.
Yeah.
So how great is that?
Yeah.
All right. And, hey, another thing came up yesterday, again, talking about the Dead Nerves. So we were talking about their EP they put out, Blood on My Tie, right?
Yeah.
So you can go to Bandcamp. I'm going to plug them again, deadnerves.bandcamp.com. And you can go and download their EP, 5 great songs, $4, I think.
Yeah.
But also you can buy their cassette.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
and they
that's
mailed
awesome.
it to me. And so we had a conversation, and I asked them about the decision about putting the EP on a cassette. And I said, well, I was wondering if they thought, well, it's just a gimmick or it's a novelty and we'll just put it on. Or is there this sort of movement of people getting back to their old tape collections, right? And so Reeves, he came out and said, well, I think the tape movement is riding on the back of the vinyl movement, right?
It is.
That's sort of having some type of physical artifact to have in your hand. There's something to that, right? So I was wondering, are you guys seeing that in your store?
Yes.
Some of that, really?
Yeah.
Yes, we have a huge collection of used tapes that we find when we go hunting, treasure hunting, and it's crazy because people just still come in and buy them. And a lot of cars, a lot of people drive older cars, and it still has
tape
your
decks.
yeah. And they're a little bit more reliable than CDs in some ways.
Sure.
I mean, when you have to use your pencil and wind it and everything, there's that.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's neat. It's cheaper to put out a cassette.
Well, that's what they said too. So like $175, and they got 100. They picked any color they want, and they had it done. They did the art. They packaged it for them and everything. So it's kind of a win for them.
It's cheaper for bands to put out their own tapes, and then it allows us to keep the cost of the tape down since there's not so much there. And it's a really good way to put out music. And I love that they have digitally and then
Right, they give it, So, if you don't have anything physical, if you just download the music, you might be missing something. But, you have that kind of physical piece that is kind of cool. So,
Okay.
All right, so for people out there who are wondering, what's the draw toward vinyl? I know there's been this over the last couple of years. We've seen it. People are the movement behind vinyl music is huge. We've seen it coming back. Why is that? And again, why should they be looking for it at your record store?
Well, I think music quality. I personally don't think vinyl ever really went away.
Okay.
I think it was, when the music industry started using CDs and stuff, it shifted. But I mean, we have people who are 90 years old, 70 years old. They come in and they've never stopped buying vinyl.
Right.
They never bought into CDs and they never stopped buying vinyl. And it's unfortunate you can't get everything on vinyl, but that is the beauty, is that usually you can find that digitally somewhere.
It's like the treasure hunt, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And we have people, we have one guy who came down from Chicago. He'd been looking for a record for like 12 years, and he found it in our store for $4. So then he got to have that communication with us of, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this forever, for 12 years, and I find it in Alabama. Right. He was here on business. He's like, I find it for $4 in Alabama. And it's like, we have our own list of records that whenever we go to new stores, we're like, okay, maybe we can find it. And then it becomes this neat memory of, oh, we found this record we were looking for in this amazing location, and you're just like...
there's a story behind it.
Yeah, and not only have you been looking for the record, but you have a story now, and it's just kind of a neat little artifact that you might not realize you were going to take home from that location.
Right.
And, but yeah, we're one of the only record stores in North Alabama.
Sure.
There are a few others, you've got Pegasus in Florence, and then you've got Excalibur out in Decatur, and so there's a string right along this North Alabama trail of record stores that you can go to, but we're the only one in the greater Huntsville area, unless James Records and Tape.
We're the only ones that have like new releases.
Yeah.
Okay.
New vinyl constantly coming in and stuff like that.
Nice.
But
all right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. It's verticalhouserecords.com. You guys are tweeting to at Vertical House.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, come by the Lowe Mill. Come by your store. It's a great store. It's a great location, and everybody gets some culture. Thank you guys for coming in and speaking with me today.
Thanks for
Thanks
having
a lot.
us.
All right, guys. Appreciate
Mahalo.
it. Mahalo.